What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to hit you up with some Lucid. So I'm going to go over a lot of important updates, why today, despite a red day, it was a very positive day at the end of the day, and a lot of good things behind the scenes. And there is a lot of good articles as well that are starting to come out about Lucid, some of which are scaring individuals, some aren't. I want to go over all of that and go over a lot of the data points, very relevant to a lot of us that are still heavily invested in Lucid. And obviously right now, I think a lot of people are kind of worried about the blink, like it being more of a on the brink of a kind of a teardown and a crash. So I want to talk about all of that. Before I get into any of that, you guys know the deal. Smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Don't forget to join as a member as well if you definitely are a big fan of Lucid. I'm starting to do evenings. I'm going to be doing maybe once or twice a week now, live streams for members only as well, so even more incentive to sign up. So a couple things as far as today. Actually, first and foremost, I always like to do this now because a lot of people did like it. So as you can see to my right or left, whatever it is. So you see Lucid, Tesla, Rivian, and I added NIO because there are some individuals that were bringing up NIO. So you kind of get a good consensus of the market for the most part. At least the big players. You see the volume, average volume, and the very right column is block volume. I always like to bring that up. 3.5 million shares being traded for Lucid today as far as block volume, aka that is institutions and hedge funds getting into Lucid. So that's always a good thing to see, especially when it comes to support at the end of the day and why we're holding such strong support. And I always like to bring this up because a lot of people like this. This is the institutions and hedge funds physically getting into Lucid. Still a massive wall of green. You can see a lot of institutions. And right now it's the ETF season, so it's ETFs physically getting into Lucid and nothing but buys. And we already know there is a big holding of Vanguard. So right now 11.5 million as far as the total market. So overall, there's a lot of good things when it comes to this. And not only that, there was a couple articles I do want to ultimately touch on and go over, but this. No, not that. This. So there's news that came out. So there is a new upcoming ETF that's going to be including the top 10 meme stocks that are being heavily shorted. So top 10 meme stocks that are being held by an upcoming ETF that will be invested in heavily shorted companies. And I've brought up a lot of times as far as Lucid, because right now Lucid is 8.36. Of the short interest, utilization 57.99, day-by-day change, negative 8.67%, which works out to be 4.1 million shares being returned. So despite everything, despite the fear, and we all know the fear out there right now, right? There's interest rates kind of on the subpar, but more importantly, it's the COVID possibly shutting down, adding more restrictions, everything like that. But this is the third time or second time we're going through this new variant where it's causing fear. And in reality, if you have been in the market long enough, I think hasn't really started became Lucid yet. But this is just a temporary dip. You need to continuously buy the dip. And I think that's why Lucid is holding on so strong, especially compared to a lot of other stocks, right? And I do feel that right now shorts are very much aware of that. So they did close out 8% as far as their position. There is a lot of good things going for Lucid, and even this. So like I already mentioned about that ETF that's upcoming, and oddly enough, so scrolling right down here, so 7. So supposedly Lucid is now, I guess, considered a meme stock. I completely disagree with that. But you know what? If they want to add it to an ETF, I really don't care. Even more benefit and more support for us. But Lucid is supposedly number 7 as far as the most heavily shorted / meme stocks. So I kind of find that a little bit hilarious at the end of the day. Let me know in the comments or whatever you think about that, because I find that comical. But again, goes back to the point where I really don't care because it's benefiting Lucid. It's going to add more support. And as you can see on that bottom right, the block volume is just going to add more to that, right? A lot of good things when it comes to that, and even this, ETFs are loving Lucid. And it's kind of funny even seeing some random $200 shares. I have more than a hedge fund or institution, whatever it is. But anyways, fun stuff. So a lot of good things going on. Shorts are definitely scared of Lucid right now. As far as this, a lot of good volume kicking in. And I find it funny. So yeah, they're classifying Lucid. I just want to talk on this a little bit more. So the fact is, it kind of is annoying, the fact that they're classifying Lucid as a meme stock. So I'm sure a lot of us know when Jim Cramer kind of put down Lucid and Rivian, saying that that was a bubble. And obviously, I think right now, since then, Lucid's kind of deviated from that and has held support, whereas Rivian just completely crashed. But that's obviously largely due to Ford as well. But anyways, like Lucid has, it's kind of funny. It's all these new like EVs that are coming out. So this is the newest one. So Phoenix Motors becomes the latest EV maker to looking to tap the markets, basically. And it's kind of interesting to see and think about that, because at the end of the day, these are the ones that are having IPOs because they are trying to catch in and try and make something from themselves, right? Whether it be true or not, I do feel that that is aiding into what people are defining the EV sector as a bubble, because more and more of these little small companies are getting in. And in case you don't know what Phoenix Motors is, I wouldn't suggest searching it. I looked up here and it basically looks like the van that you take from the airport to the Lucid dealership to buy a Lucid. So I don't know. I'm not really a fan of that. If that is your forte, it's going to be IPOing soon, or at least to put in for the request for that. But still, this goes back to my point where there is, I think a lot of these are making the EV sector seem like a joke, and like this even is classifying it as a meme stock. So it's one of those things. But anyways, regardless of everything, I'm sure you guys are all aware of exactly what's happening in the market. It has made up a little bit of room, but you can see as far as the major indexes are pretty much that wall of red, right? With the exception of the VIX. But regardless, right now Lucid has been holding fairly well, and I know technically it's not outperforming the indexes right now, but there is still a lot of positives to take from this. So as you can see right now, Lucid is down roughly about 5%. It is still at the very pivotal points that is holding very well, because keep in mind, Lucid is up, especially if you bought in September 1st roughly, you're up about 300%. Normally 9 times out of 10, when you get to the 100% mark, usually a doubling, or then the 200% mark, there is a lot of people that takes profit at that stage. And that's just always what happens. Whereas it comes to Lucid hasn't really gone through that. We've held support levels very well, and I think people know what a big deal Lucid is going to be. And I think so much that there's a lot more articles that are coming out. So where will Lucid Motors be in about 5 years? So a lot more of these articles are coming out that are very, in my opinion, they're trying to confuse a lot of people. So they give a lot of stats. In reality, it says Lucid targets, but then in reality, this is a Tesla chart. And they reference Tesla quite a lot. And it's better to kind of just look at the very bottom, right? So it even says right here, I did read it. Basically, it just says that he owns Tesla and NEO stock, and I can't find it right now, but it does give you a lot of good facts in case you don't know anything about Lucid. I'd highly suggest in going on here, seeking alpha, where will Lucid Motors be in about 5 years? So you can read through that. It gives you a lot of good info. It talks about the autonomous driving, obviously, which is going to be at the end of the decade. But in reality, I feel like I give better stats than a lot of this. And in reality, I'm a big Lucid fan, and I would much rather see Lucid make a lot more money than Tesla. And in reality, I'm not hating on Tesla at all. Both are very good vehicles. Both just as far as a risk versus reward, there's a lot less risk investing in Lucid right now. And especially if you guys do watch my channel, I'm a big value investor. And when it comes to value, like definitely Lucid is it. 100%, despite this going on here. So anyways, actually, you know what, maybe that might be a little glitch. Yeah, that might be a glitch. So something happened clearly. Yeah. And I, for those that don't know, I use Yahoo Finance just for the basic charting, only because it's easier to do on videos, whereas on my broker, which I use TD, it doesn't really portray that well. But something changed here. As you can see, it looks like 377 million shares it's showing being traded on October 28th. So that definitely might be something behind the scenes that obviously institution might have declared or something. So that's definitely something to look into. But anyways, so there's a lot of good things looking at this as well. So like I said, I'm going to give you a general update of everything, why Lucid's doing so well, institutional percentages held from Lucid. So I think I did an update roughly about 2 days ago on this, and it was at 66%. Now 68.94. And like I said, when I first started doing videos on this, it was roughly about 4%. So a huge amount of support when it comes to Lucid. Everyone and their dog literally wants to get into Lucid, and rightfully so, right? There's so much going on for it, and they are very active on Twitter, and that's one thing I really like, right? You don't get the Elon kind of speculative tweets saying that it's going to the moon, that we have secured funding, and all that stupid stuff. Lucid is, I feel like it's more of a genuine company. It's straight to the point. It's a straight shooter. It's literally everything that you want. And there's a lot good going for it, right? That said, though, I do want to, obviously, I think people do appreciate when I bring up the risks, right? And I'm sure a lot of us are aware of the risk when it comes to Lucid. Obviously, their upcoming deliveries, and even scrolling down here, right? They technically have 4.8 billion as far as total cash equivalents and short-term investments. Total debt of 216 million. So I know that seems appealing, but for a car company and based on its projections of what Lucid actually is going to be doing, it's not that much money, right? Especially considering that by 2024 they do want to open up the Saudi Arabia facility, which that alone will be about 3 billion. So a lot of things changing, and at the end of the day, this is more of a concern as well, ultimately, especially if it wants to reach its goals. But at the end of the day, Lucid hasn't let us down one bit. And especially if shorts do continue to keep on closing out their position, which I do anticipate them doing as well. And not only that, looking at this, I'm just going to quickly show you this. I do strongly feel that there is going to be a lot more analysts physically getting in as well. So technically, should be good. And not only that, there's a lot more upgrades and things like that coming. That's not loading. So yeah, the latest one was November 17th, which increased their price target. So yeah, a lot of good things going for Lucid. So I do want to go over the technicals. So, which is one of the biggest things, right? Because we all know there's hypothetically no actual known catalyst. That's one of the biggest things that's caused a little bit of more volatility when it comes to Lucid. There's actually no known catalyst, and like I've already mentioned, throughout this whole time period, there's been catalyst after catalyst, like everything. Like you could have talked about anything. Right now, there's more of speculation, right? We don't know exactly where Lucid's going to go, but at the end of the day, we all know that like years from now, Lucid is going to mimic, if anything, or outperform Tesla's growth model. So easily by next year, 200 in my opinion, especially if it continues and meets all the necessary, everything. But looking at this right now, so support levels. And like I said last video, again, if you haven't, I do daily videos, so make sure you smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Like I even said, I do anticipate the support level is moving up, and which they did. So $52.49. So that $49, $50 range is huge, and that honestly has been one of the saving graces for Lucid, right? Because if anything, if it was to have broken that, it did on Friday, obviously. It went to, I believe, 48 and change. But if it were to have closed below $50, then that would have been a complete different story. But obviously, we did close above it, and right now that $50 is a very pivotal point, and then 47 as well for the third support level, and just want to show you that. So, and then on the contrary though, so resistance points, this one stayed constant to what it previously was, but the other ones increased. So even that is showing that obviously there's an anticipation that we're going to move up, right? So first resistance point, 56.90, 56.69, 58, and 61. So again, when it goes back to the stance about having a lot more upside potential versus downside, that holds very true, right? There's a lot of good things going for that. So yeah, just want to spread some love with that, and definitely, if you are as much as a Lucid fan as me, make sure you are smashing that thumbs up on all the videos. Helps push it out as much as possible. But overall, there's a lot of good things to talk about for Lucid, a lot of growth in its future. So yeah, definitely. I will take a look at some of the comments. What up, Marbat? Hey, Rob. Coolio. Ooh, that's kind of the opposite of my whole video. Lucid to 37. I don't think so. I could be wrong though, but exactly. Timothy, that is well put. Yeah, buying the dip. I think Lucid has shown out of everything that these are the moments that you need to buy the dip, always. And yeah, I can't say that enough. And I've done a lot of videos on this, and it's funny. It's like, even looking at the charting, right? Doesn't matter how many times we've dipped. People seem to not learn the lesson, right? It dips here. Oh, buy the dip. Okay. Oh, no. It's like, it's kind of hard to keep on reiterating that all the time. Buy the dip. But in reality, like, this is one of those stocks that you need to do, right? This EV sector is not in a bubble whatsoever. There is several ones that probably will dwindle down, which obviously that's like Rivian, in my opinion. This Phoenix company, if it ever does come to anything. But there is a lot of good things. And right now, even looking on the technicals for Lucid, everything, despite us being down 5%, everything is holding very well and looking very good. Like, we're at the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, so we haven't broken the middle, so we are still technically in an uptrend. We, as far as looking at the actual like moving averages and everything, well, still above all the moving averages. We are, as far as RSI, that's been neutral for the most part. Stochastic, there is still no defined trend when it comes to that. And then momentum, yeah, has been dropping a lot. So this is why I want to draw your attention, why I like looking at technical analysis and other factors. So you see momentum, it has been dropping, so number of buyers are going down. And if you couple that, so as you can see on the ticker that's going, Lucid. So the volume is 73 million, whereas the average is about 50. So more volume, less momentum indicator going down. So obviously that's why I like these things. It's just a simple equation, right? You know that big institutions are getting in, and you can tell that based on the block volume as well. So obviously the momentum, so physical number of retail investors are just going down. Like, whether that's your investing style or not, I don't typically like to base my full opinions based on institutions, but I definitely like to always keep in mind and watch them, because look at all of this, like ETFs are getting in there. Yes, they rebalance maybe once a year or twice a year, whatever it is, but overall, like, these are the support levels. You need these, the bread and butter to actually get in. Like, you need that, right? And that's one thing that a lot of these institutions and hedge funds were waiting for. We're waiting for Lucid to actually do deliveries. And that's one thing that Tesla did fail at significantly. So that was a long-winded explanation. Yeah. Well, looking at, Rob, Lucid and Rivian. So, like, for instance, looking at the ticker, as you can see, Rivian only has about 300,000 block volume today. So as far as institutions, I can show you. Right here. So Rivian institutional ownership. It doesn't look like they have any as of right now. Keep in mind though, this is why I like looking at that ticker, like that block volume column, because that's obviously daily. That's active everything. When it comes to Fintel info, all of this is declared. All of these institutions have bought over the previous 3 months. So as of right now, nothing has been declared for that. And to be honest, I haven't really been watching Rivian enough to look at the block volume, but even based on it being out as of fairly recently, 300,000 as far as block volume, that's not really anything to write home about. So I definitely do think that there's a lot more upside when it comes to Lucid. And the reason for it being down is because of articles like this that ultimately question is the valuation. So yeah, this one's a very long-winded article, brings up a lot of stats of what they can, in my opinion, is more biased stats, but it does go on to pretty much indicate that like Lucid is overvalued. But keep in mind, when it comes to evaluations, especially on EV, there's a lot of factors that play in, right? There's future growth. And in my opinion, Lucid's growth, at least projected growth, completely outweighs Tesla, anything else. So that's a huge factor. And right now, I think the whole market's having trouble evaluating what actual tech is worth and what EV tech is worth. So that's also another factor why a lot of people do question evaluations. But at the end of the day, we all know that Lucid is going to significantly increase in price, and I'm happy with it. I haven't sold anything. Been doing a lot of call options, got, selling puts. This is the way to go. So yeah. Don't forget to put down any comments, concerns, anything like that. But like I said, this is a lot of good things going on. So make sure you continuously buy the dip. That's how I see things, at least. And honestly, like I said, it's been proven so far to be working fairly well, right? So let me know in the comments if there's anything else you would like to, as far as questions, concerns. Obviously, I'm not bringing up speculative kind of stuff such as Apple, because right now it's kind of up in the air. And same goes for, I honestly do feel, because especially not only that, so this is why I do feel it's very important to be in Lucid right now, because all it'll take is one of these good catalysts to come out, and then we will be breaking past these resistance levels like they're like butter, like insane. So for instance, this new ETF that came out, obviously it's classifying Lucid as a meme stock and heavily shorted, which in both degrees I think they're completely wrong. But obviously Lucid, as of right now, there's a lot of good things going for it, but a lot of institutions are physically still looking at it, and you can even see based on this article. Another big spec kind of topic is Cathie Woods, and I've been bringing this up for the last couple of videos as well. I do strongly feel that Cathie Woods is going to look at this, and not only that, because Cathie Woods is starting to do a more aggressive ETF, and going to be launching, I believe, in the spring. That's what it said, and in reality, that is the perfect candidate for Lucid. So whether Cathie Wood actually gets in or whether it be more ETFs, there's a lot of good support when it comes to Lucid. Well, as far as price prediction, I did honestly feel that Lucid, given two circumstances, right? If there is a continuation of COVID fears, then we could hit a low of about $45. That's if, obviously, again, hammered with all day. But right now, it's a little bit interesting, right? So there's COVID fears and all that, but then shorts are closing. So it's anyone's game. In reality, I do see that we have a lot of upside kind of pushing that we can get to about $60 this week. And I think the next couple of weeks are going to be very pivotal, especially considering even today we hit a high of 56.70. So we are virtually there, and it's just a matter of time before we have one good catalyst, right? Because this whole week we've had nothing. We've been kind of living off of like Lucid. Here, I'll just show you this. So like Lucid, even if and unfortunately, whenever they don't issue any actual formal news, we just have to kind of resort to Twitter. But looking at this, like we're just seeing little kind of tweets like this, right? They're doing deliveries. So until we actually hear or something that they've actually completed their 2021 deliveries, then I think we're going to be pretty stagnant between the $50 and $60 range. But if they ever do, once they say, you know what, we've done all 520 deliveries, and just watch, this will honestly just break past 60 and so much more. So with that looks like that is the end of the market trading day. So we'll see kind of how it is acts after hours. So definitely out of everything, it looks like Lucid was the worst off, but you can see block volume. So when I was starting to do this, block volume got insanely jumped. So on a lot of different fronts as well, right? Tesla, Rivian, NIO all went block volume to the extreme last minute hours, and 17 million as far as block volume. So that hands down is why we are investing in Lucid. I agree with that, John. Yeah, $75 is a very attainable thing in reality, but a lot of good things going with Lucid. Yeah. Yep. No, I get that. Yeah, as soon as people start to bash, and I did come across this one picture. Actually, I guess I wouldn't be under there's a lot of tweets saying that Lucid is having, as far as their deliveries that they have done, they're all bad quality, damaged, and things like that. It's just, I agree with you. Once there starts to be bashers and things like this, starting calling them meme stocks, then yeah, it's kind of one of those reverse things, right? You don't know you're up on top until people start bringing you down. And I think that is Lucid, right? Because if Lucid wasn't a big deal, they wouldn't care, right? Nobody would even be talking about it. But Lucid is a big deal, and we all know that. Resistance knows that. Support technicals all indicate that. And the funny thing is, even looking at this, right? So I highly suggest doing a lot of my polls when I do them as well. But in reality, I do a lot of polls, especially orienting towards Lucid as well, and how things are going to be kind of portraying. And a lot of things, like almost every topic out there is about 50-50, and it's kind of interesting, right? So is Lucid going to work with Apple? About 56% say yes, and obviously about 44% say no, or it's better off without them. And like, where do you see Lucid by the end of the year? Obviously, consensus is 70 plus, which I completely do agree with that. And there's a lot of good things when it comes to Lucid. And even this, 54% do feel that Lucid is not overvalued. I think one of the biggest things as well that's causing a lot of fluctuation when it comes to Lucid instead of going up is, and probably in reality is coupling with why Lucid is down and closed out at 3.78% when Tesla was up, is right now Lucid is fairly new, right? You can see based on the chart we've gone up significant amount. Like I already mentioned at the very beginning of the video, people take profits. And there's a lot of people, whether it's you guys or others, there's a lot of individuals that are new to investing, that have never invested, that got in maybe at 20 and are so happy right now with about 200 or whatever percent up, or 150, and they want to take profits. So this is why in reality I do feel that around these stages we are at pivotal points, because a lot of people are also taking profits, right? Whereas with Tesla's been around the block several times. People know that you never bet against Tesla. People learning, especially shorts right now, which in reality that's probably why it's down, is because people are learning that you don't short Tesla. People are learning as well now that you do not short Lucid. You have to be out of your mind to do that. And looking at this, yeah, even on a daily basis, 8.76. I do still, out of everything, even this is more of an upward trend. But you can kind of see this with throughout the broader market. So I do feel that a lot of shorts in general are just shorting a lot. But yeah, you have to be really stupid to short Lucid. I definitely wouldn't do that at all. Let's see, that YouTuber saying Lucid has some huge battery. Yeah, I believe, yeah, he was saying instead of 113 is 138. Yeah, I saw that article, or that YouTuber guy. I don't really like, all his videos are just bashing, calling people out on or frauding companies and things like that. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true whatsoever. Actually, let's see. I did search him. Yeah, this guy, Warren. Yeah, Lucid exposed. Yeah, 134 kilowatt hour. Like, at the end of the day, there's a lot of things, and if this is the, and so I guess you can put it in perspective, right? So if this is the only thing supposedly Lucid is exposed by, based on one small criteria, at the end of the day, like, this is insignificant. It doesn't matter. And if this is the only thing that they could bring up, then nobody cares. Yeah, this guy is kind of looks like a clown there anyways. But honestly, it goes back to that, like, Lucid completely obliterated Tesla, 520 miles per range. And I think a lot of people, that's one of the biggest, like, actual true stats that completely puts Tesla, or puts Lucid above Tesla, puts them above everything. Yeah, there's a lot of, yeah, I don't agree with that. Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that, Timothy. Well, actually, you know what the funny thing is, Timothy? I saw a lot of things, even Rivian, right? I like using Ortex because it gives a lot of good news. I believe I even saw Apple car rumor. Let's see, what's this even saying? Once Apple begins a product, could you just... Well, that was a waste of reading. Basically doesn't say Apple is right here. So is Rivian a stock as the towing apparently drains pickup's battery faster than expected? This is, I think, going to be a common thing. It's just sometimes batteries, especially based on conditions, isn't the best, right? Like, for instance, I live in Canada and I live in a very cold part of Canada. And in reality, that's one of the biggest things I think initially when EVs came out is how is the cold going to affect batteries, right? It'll hypothetically just drain them faster. So I think it's one of those things that, as much like battery, it's kind of give and take, right? It's still early tech, especially when it comes to Lucid as well. But it's performed well, right? Yeah, exactly, Ted. Yeah, it's the case for all EVs. So just the fact that he's saying that Lucid's battery is 134 versus what they stated, I believe was 118 or something like that. It's not that big of a deal at all. Yeah. So do not listen to Warren. That's my recommendation. Clearly 62,000. I don't understand. Well, he gets a lot of views though. Especially that one. But I don't understand how... I listened to him and he sounded not the brightest tool in the shed. That's why sometimes questions about YouTube, I don't get it. Like, some people just get clicked on the algorithm. Like, he definitely doesn't deserve all those things. Same thing as like a lot of these, right? Like, you have to look at people's motives. Like, where will Lucid be in the 5 years? Yep, people click on that. They want to know exactly where it's going to be. Whereas technically right now it's still early stages, right? There's a lot of things that could change. They could easily just say tomorrow, like, you know what, we're building 5 facilities throughout North America, building a stronger plant or like more of a foothold there to take on Tesla. That would dramatically change the output of where like Lucid goes, right? Versus if they expand at what they want. So by 2024, Saudi Arabia, 2025, China. If they do that kind of growth model and expand at that stage, then yeah, it's all going to portray differently, right? It's way too early to say where it's going to be in 5 years. But regardless, it's good though. It's going to be good. That's the thing, Marbat. I didn't see the testing, right? Because I think the testing was in more of a warm climate. Yeah, honestly, I cannot wait until I see way too many damn Teslas over in Canada here. I think it's time for he claims line. Yeah, I honestly can't wait for Lucids. Oh, do they? Really well? Nice. Okay. Yeah, well, I guess that you can kind of tell based on Teslas, right? I think as far as it being tested here, then I don't think anything's really affected that. So have you guys been buying the dip recently? Yeah, I was kind of looking at this, like future technology for today. What on earth? So it's like Lucid has real technology. This is why I don't like how EVs are making it seem like it's a bubble. Like, yeah, like Lucids have real technology. Whereas what on earth could this ever do? Phoenix motor cars. Like what? Like you can have heated seats in your fucking bus? Like hold farm cows? Like what on earth? Like why would this be beneficial for society? I have like leading manufacturer in all electric medium duty vehicles. Like who has a requirement for a medium duty vehicle? Like I don't know. I don't get that. Like look at that. Look at the inside of that. Looks like a regular damn bus. Every time I've gone to Vegas, you get in one of these, unless I don't know. That's just me ranting, I guess. Yeah, I am there with you, Rob. I initially I got in, was it $15, and I think it was 86 cents, brought my average down to 16 and change, and I have been honestly loving Lucid. I did have quite a lot more shares, but I stupidly did some covered calls and they got exercised, so I went down a little bit, but overall a lot of good things with Lucid, and I am not selling one bit. But based on this as well and how the indexes are right now, and especially the futures, I do see most likely, again, probably a retest of around 50. But based on the support levels, like I mentioned, I don't see us breaking past 50 at all this week. And we'll probably trend a lot higher the coming weeks as well. So again, it's one of those things that you need to continuously buy the dip. Oh, I'll take a look at that, 𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗛. The Robinhood dips? No, not particularly. And let's see how Lucid is. Oh, Lucid's up after hours. That's good. Up more of a percent than Tesla. Rivian is down. And NIO is up. So yeah, this is why, especially overreactions like I said about Lucid, you need to be taking advantage of those, right? It's only going to be this low for so much longer. And this is the scenario. We're at $53, and that's given potential shutdowns with COVID, a lot of fears, interest rate fears. There's so many different things playing into that. But with all that said, it looks like I answered all the questions, comments, everything like that. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up, do all that fun stuff. I appreciate that. I'm going to be doing a live as well for members only, so even more incentive to sign up. Link in the description below. And with all that, I appreciate you guys, and yeah, thanks for watching.